Hello, and welcome back to our Japanese 1890 campaign, Rise of the Dragon. When last we left off, we were doing a series of refits, upgrades. We were building some new destroyers, just working on a whole bunch of stuff in general. We have a new destroyer class that's entering service. And besides that, we just have all these rebuilds, essentially a couple of carriers, or our light carriers, and we're outfitting our battleships with basically improved space for radars and uh, the new what the heck is it? Rangefinder, not rangefinder, but uh, fire control systems. There we go. It's been a few days since I've played. I pre-recorded some episodes, so I was, so that I wouldn't leave anyone hanging. I know uh, um, a few people have been keeping up with watching every day and commenting, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and just jump right on in. We'll take a look at the map real quick just to refresh what's going on. There's a war currently between Russia and Germany, but that's really about the only thing that's happening. We've, you know, possessed pretty much all of Asia in terms of northeast and southeast. Just a few more colonies we need to kick out of here. But if we can do it or not is going to be the question. For example, if we want to go up against Great Britain, we're have to really up our air power because they're running 14 light carriers. So let's go ahead and just go. So next turn, we'll save the game as always. And next turn. There we go. Yes, the U.S. government is offering us the rights to radar and electronics, improved air search. We will take that. That's something that's difficult for us to do. We don't have any advantage. Here is what our light fighter looks like. The problem with this, I mean, it's obviously incredibly improved stats everywhere. It's probably not going to be very reliable. And they're also heavy. So if we want to fit these onto aircraft carriers, we're not going to have very many aircraft. So the max speed is 405 on cruise, 501 on max. So this one here in the middle has the best range, best speed, and it has good firepower and good maneuverability. It has the best stats all around. So uh, Kawanashi, we'll go with that one. So the Germans and the Russians are still fighting. The Germans have lost another battleship, another battle cruiser. Boy, they have really lost this. Russia lost a couple destroyers. Yeah, that is not good for Germany. They have been getting pounded on this entire time. They don't have any battle cruisers left. They're going to have to rely on those carriers. Russia is at a disadvantage in carriers, but they are overwhelming force in terms of battle cruisers. "20 submarines are finished." There, we're right of a lot of money here in just a moment. I don't like embarrassing countries during a party. Like it's just, I know it's an easy way to get some tension with France, who we want to fight, but I don't think it's very classy to mess with someone at a party. We'll find some other way to get tension. That's not the honorable way to start a fight. All right. So now that we have some money, we wanted to refit the Zuikaku. So let's go ahead and redesign that now. We'll replace the machinery because it's old. We'll put the new director on there, on the guns. We'll put auto loaders on our 3-inch guns. We'll have to up the ammunition count quite a bit, so to like 400 rounds for 3-inch. Sounds about right. We're not going to mess with jet capable anything, but we can install deck edge lifts, perhaps. Yep, we can just fit them in. And we can go up probably in our radar technology. Okay, but to do that, we're going to give up something. So now that we have auto loaders on this, having one gun probably counts as having like a gun and a half or something. I'm not sure what the ratio is, but we can strip off one set of guns essentially. So it gives us 10 on each side. Oh, that doesn't look very nice anymore. That's okay though. And that gives us deck edge lifts, so we have improved ready time. Can we go up with radar? No, we can't go above 3. All right, that gives us 82 extra tons. Definitely can't increase speed, no. We'll throw on a couple of medium AA, and that'll be fine. Gives us 50 extra tons for flooding purposes and whatnot. This is a 2,000 a month, 2,100 per month project for a year. So let's go ahead and get that started now. We need to catch up in terms of aircraft carriers. So the Akagis are just finished, but they might be a little bit outdated already. We could actually build a new class of aircraft carrier and go ahead and just make those jet capable so that they are future proofed. I'm not super keen on putting jet aircraft on them yet because I don't know how reliable they're going to be, but we'll see, I suppose. Is there anything else we need to work on right now? Our Canas are good. Actually, do the Canas have the new fire control? They do not. So what would it take to put the new director on there? It would take 3 months, and it would end up slightly overweight. What if we took off medium AA? Okay. So we can outfit our Canas fairly cheaply for only 3 months each with the new fire directors. And these are gunboats. Like we really want these. Oh, we could put autoloaders on there. Ooh, okay. Uh, so dang, that's a tough decision right there. Tell you what, we'll not worry about the autoloaders on here just yet, but we may look into designing some specialized light cruisers with 6-inch autoloaders and just go around and just pound the heck out of people with those. Although, at the same time, they're, the age of the aircraft is here. So like they might not be that effective as gunboats, but having autoloaders on dual purpose is big. So that's something to keep in mind. So for now, we'll just go ahead and upgrade these with the new fire control systems. So we'll just do them all at once because we have the money. It only takes 3 months. What did we do? We took off something, a medium AA. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. There. That's only half the money that we have right now in excess budget. Just go ahead and throw these destroyers into divisions for now. So the Minakazes are deployed North Pacific, South Pacific, things like that. We'll get rid of the extras here that aren't deployed basically as outpost ships. So we'll go ahead and scrap those. I know it's crazy, but they're not what we want right now. We thought they were, but they are not. Okay, we still have a bunch of these Arashis being finished. So it leaves us with 5,000 monthly balance and some unrest, which is not good. So we do need to look for a way to bring our budget down by like one tick, probably. Some social reforms or something of the sort. So the cannas are being rebuilt. The Sumas, I don't know what we could even do with the Sumas. The Sumas are, they're only about 8 years old or 6 years old. Okay, we're not super worried about these. We'll leave them as is. They're good enough for what they're doing. So the Tonays are done. Okay. So we can look into designing new aircraft carriers because that is what we're going to need if we ever get into a fight with Great Britain or the US. The US is probably going to have a lot of those as well. So our Akagis are 24,000 tons, and this wants us to go up to 42,500. Probably because of the jets. Yeah, jet capable. Yeah, jet capable takes up a lot of tonnage. They've also put 1 inch of flight deck armor on here. I'm not a fan of that. I feel like it's taking up a lot of. Actually, it doesn't take up that much, does it? We'll leave it on there, I guess, for splinters. Interesting. So we could have jet capable with 70 aircraft, 2 catapults. I mean, they're big, but they're not as expensive as I thought they might be. They're still cheaper to build than battleships. What if we go for unit machinery to keep it going in case of engine hits? We can make these guns. We could make 6-inch autoloaders. That doubles your heavy AA factor, essentially. So what would we sacrifice to do that? So do we go up another 500 tons in order to slap on more ammo? To go up to like 350 rounds of 6-inch ammo? We can't fit that on there yet. We might need to go down by a couple of jet aircraft. These are really heavy. So if we get down to 65, 65, we could put on 25 fighters and 20 dive bombers, 15. So if we did 15 torpedo bombers, we could go with 30 fighters and 20 dive bombers. I'm usually in favor of having more fighters than the other classes because you need them for combat air patrol as well as airstrike escorts. Boy, what if we go up the tonnage even further? All right, well, the important thing is we have the ammunition that we needed for the 6-inch guns. Can we put on 5 more fighters? We could. So that puts us at 70. And then we can go down in tonnage or displacement. 41,000 tons and at a 4,000 per month cost. Oh, we have top side exceeded a little bit here. So we'll take off some mediums. And we could go down in tonnage a little bit further. I'm going to leave it at 41,000. That way we have some space for future upgrades. We have 4 torpedo defense. We have 3 radar. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 16 6-inch dual purpose auto loading 6-inch guns. with the best director available. That puts us at 47 heavy AA factor, and we'll probably have escorts with this thing as well. And we could put on some 3-inch dual purpose autoloaders if we went up by like 500 tons. We could go double turrets on those and 400 rounds. And that'll put us at 50 heavy AA. I don't know how good that 50 is, but it seems like a decent number. I bet it'll tell us we can't have tertiaries without secondaries. Okay. And we're over the top side limit again. So we'll strip that, we'll turn these into secondaries. So go down to 3 inches, autoloader, director, DP. Oh, it's nice we can put a director on there. And these are quality 1 guns. So we go up to 350 rounds. We're going to 400 rounds for the 3-inch guns. And we're going to strip off a couple mediums and a few lights. And we'll see how many 3-inch guns we can put on there. So it looks like 12. And that keeps us under the top side limit. That leaves us an extra 100 tons for future upgrades, and it increases our cost by about 150 per month. But I think it's worth it to have, oh boy, how did we get down to 49 as opposed to 50 on the heavy AA? We can slap on one, it'll be lopsided if we slap on another gun, so maybe we won't do that. That doesn't help, we can't go up. What would you have to do? Like, yeah, the mediums don't even count as heavy AA. Okay. We'll go with what we have. No more fiddle faddle. Oh, hang on, we dropped speed. I thought we were going 30. That's a problem. That's an actual problem. So we will have to take the displacement back up again. So we're increasing the costs, but the time stays the same. This will let us put on those 2 guns again. Yeah, sorry, I didn't notice that I dropped the speed down to 29. I do want to, have at least 30 speed on these things to keep them out of trouble. All right, and this here I think will be, so we have the Akagis. I think this will be the Kaga class. It's carrying 70 aircraft. Once we get up to the point where we're carrying like 80 or 90, we can call one the Taiho. So this will be the Kaga. So let's go ahead and pick a name. Yep, there we go. The Kaga class. And it's 43,000 tons. It's basically nearly double the size of our current aircraft carriers. They will be expensive, but we'll better build a couple of at a time of these. We have a lot of things coming out of rebuild, and we have a nice treasury right now, extra funds. I don't know what the British carriers look like. I don't know if they're spamming out a bunch of like 68 aircraft. Yeah, a bunch of light carriers with 30. Basically, they're speedy little carriers with 30 aircraft in their fleet. Carriers aren't nearly as big as ours. They're only 20,000 tons for that one. So the biggest threats are the indefatigable. Indefatigable. Oh boy, I'm gonna call that the New Zealand class. So it's 68 aircraft, 29 knots. Actually, this one here is lighter, but carries more aircraft. Yeah, so 32s and 26. I wonder why that is. I wonder why that carries more. This one's bigger and slower. Huh, I wonder what they did there. So yeah, they actually have 5 really good aircraft carriers, or 5 formidable ones. So we'll need to match those at least. I think 1 for 1, the Akagi's can match, because they carry 80, so they can match with any one of those carriers, and then when our new ones come out, we'll have 4 to their 6. So, you know, and they tend to send ships in smaller groups anyway because they don't have much supply out here. All right, they want us to build 9 more destroyers, but we got some other stuff happening right now. All right, the war between Germany and Russia is ended. Yeah, we'll take more radar technology. Thank you. Do we want to buy a private venture naval patrol craft? So the cruise speed is lower, the range is much higher, and the stats are a little bit lower, like the airframe stats. They carry. Okay, yeah. So someone did comment about the heavy medium L stuff, HML. It's not heavy medium light. It's actually like as far as the torpedo size, is this is the range that it can carry torpedoes out to. So it can carry torpedoes out to medium range, essentially. So they were right, and that is very useful information to have. You know what? I'm going to keep the ones we have because they are faster, and I don't think we need uh, 900 miles of range on these patrol craft. Just seems a little bit excessive. All right, technology sharing with Great Britain has been useful for anti-submarine stuff. Tensions are staying fairly low right now. They might actually go down since a war just ended. So how's our destroyer project looking? Okay, so we'll assign these. We'll assign these. And I mean, that's probably enough destroyers. All right, we wanted to build new corvettes. That's something we wanted to do. So let's go ahead and do that now while we have time. So what do we want from our corvette? So our current ones are 1,500 tons. We could get really fancy with these, but we do want colonial service no matter what. They go 17 knots. Those ones go 23. So it's 22. We want minesweepers for sure. We'll have them carry mines. So putting on minesweeping gear takes away from their anti-submarine value because they're doing other stuff. But that's okay because we have our new Arashi class, which are good anti-sub ships. Essentially, they're at 10s. Each one of those is 10. So we want to build. Um, we'll put 450 rounds on here of. Well, we don't want to go to. We'll go with 4-inch guns. We'll go with 3-inch auto loaders. Can we do double turrets? Only single turrets. Okay. They're pretty good. They have 9 heavy AA factor on a Corvette. That's pretty sweet. Okay, what else can we put on here? Not a whole lot. We could increase the speed. If we go to 24 with a Corvette, we could. We can give these an advanced director. We're still only at 250 per month on these. What if we go to 25 for a Corvette? No. Okay, so we gotta stay at 24. So that gives us colonial service, 24 knots, no armor, really. It doesn't, these things aren't going to take a hit no matter what. We could put on, even if we put on like 3 inches of belt, we can't do it anyway, but it's only 3 inches. So we'll keep that as is. We'll put on another AA director that doesn't do anything. What about some medium AA guns? No, we can do a couple more. And can we do any more centerline? We could do one more centerline gun. And we'll have to go down by one medium. Let's just add another light. It's 276 per month. But these are decent little Corvettes. Not too bad. What if we put on unit machinery? I mean, that's really not necessary. It adds $1, or I guess it's probably 10,000 or 100,000 or something to the monthly cost. But it makes them a little bit more survivable. Okay, that's fine. Let's pick a name for this. We'll call this the Siberia Maru. No, this will be the Tokyo Maru. And yeah, that's about it. That'll be our new Corvette for probably a good while. All right. Well, hang on. It can't have unit machinery. That took us over topside load anyway. All right, so let's go on with the Tokyo Maru. We will have to build quite a lot of those, probably about 20 or so. I think we needed like 17 or 18 for the last war. You want to have a couple of extras. Alrighty. So new fighters in service. The float plane scout. Ugh, I don't know. I'm not so interested in it. The Toneys. I mean, well, I guess they could use. I guess they could use new float planes on the Toneys. So we're going to go for speed, and we'll go for toughness. So that if they get shot, maybe they'll survive it. France has a lot of technologies that are brewing up. The US is working on some stuff. We'll build quite a few of these. So we'll go with 20. We'll do them in batches. We'll do 10 now, because we do have to build our new aircraft carriers. There we go. So we reduced spending a little bit, which is what we wanted to get the unrest back down. Yep, now we have capacity of 110 in the Indian Ocean, which is right about what we wanted. We wanted about 100. All right, let's build 2 of these, the Kaga class. That leaves us with 4,000 excess budget. And with these rebuilds here going on, in 6 months, that's going to hit about, or in about 8 months, it's going to hit probably about 12,000 on the monthly excess budget. So we do need to start getting rid of some of this. Now, someone, you know who you are, suggested in the comments that we look at another destroyer class. I know we're just cycling through destroyers, but they suggested the diesel engines. So let's take a look at that real quick. 3,000 tons. We'll go with the normal engine priority. We'll go with the diesel engines. That doesn't save all that much. Well, it's a decent amount for a destroyer, 30 some tons. So these are going 36 speed. We can strip off one of the mounts. What if we get rid of the mines? Does it improve our ASW? It doesn't. We go to 20 mines. We add another tube. We add torpedo reloads. And then we have to get rid of the secondary guns. And it gives a 6-inch dual purpose. Okay. So you can't do 6-inch dual purpose for a destroyer. What about 5-inch? You could. So we go with 5-inch guns on this destroyer. What if we set the range to long? What happens? Yeah, it uses up a lot of. Okay. Well, and we're still at radar limit 3. Let's wait a little while. Maybe if we start getting some more radar tech, we can look into that. But the diesel engine will probably be good for the destroyers. And we'll end up with a bunch of 5-inch dual purpose guns. We could choose either auto loaders, 6-inch auto loaders, but then we'd lose the dual purpose. So it's probably not good for a destroyer. I mean, the destroyer with an auto loader would be ridiculous. It'd just be DACA, DACA, DACA. But that's not the job of the destroyer. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look at what we could be doing. The Sumas are getting a little bit older here, so let's go ahead and rebuild those real quick. We'll replace the machinery, give them new life of the engine. They're still stuck at 30 knots. That's fine. These are our mini cruisers. They have a lot of torpedoes. What could we actually do with these? We have 78 tons. We can make these auto-loading. We could. And give it the electro-optical director. It becomes slightly overweight. So we take off a medium AA. And that gets us back down. We will need some ammo, however. How about 350 rounds? It's a lot of weight. We might have to go to 330. We could strip off another set of these AAs. Yes, we lose all of the medium and light anti-aircraft guns, but it doesn't change our heavy AA really at all. This puts it at a 600, almost a 700 monthly cost for a year, but we basically extend the life of these Sumas for quite a while. And I have a feeling these things can hold their own. They're fairly speedy. They only have 3-inch guns, but they can drop essentially 8 torpedoes into the water at a time. And they're cheap. Like, they're really cheap to maintain. They're only like 85. That one's 94. They probably have a bad administrator on that ship. That one's 88. Yeah, like they're very cheap to maintain. They're slightly more than a destroyer. Actually, they're cheaper than our current new destroyer class. So we'll go ahead and build those. It costs us essentially nothing to maintain these things. A rebuild every, what, 8 or 9 years? That's fine. So we need some tonnage on foreign stations. We'll put a Tone. Hang on, we need to send these Tones back out, don't we? So did we end up naming our heavy cruiser divisions? We didn't. I thought we named some of these like Pacific Fleet, blah blah blah. Didn't we do that? I thought for sure we did. I thought we named them like South Pacific Division. Oh, there it is. That's the light cruisers. Okay. Well, all right. So we need to send a Tone to the. Let's see here. South Pacific. We'll send one to the Indian Ocean. And we'll send one to the, oops, North Pacific. And we'll take that off of foreign station. And we'll assign one of these cannas to foreign station just to fill in that gap for the foreign station need necessity. But we did, so that's 8 and 9 cruiser division. Okay, so those are our little little old tiny ones we're building, the Sumas. All right, so the cannon will just hang out for a moment, and I'll bring it back to wherever I want it once the Tones get to their stations. So that. So when I put it on active, it canceled the move. All right, Northern Pacific. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Lots of fiddle faddling around this episode. More radar tech? Yes, please. Boy, we are making the most of our friendship with the Brits. Let's see here. This guy is below average and timid. So let's get rid of him and gain a prestige. Farewell. Um, we made advances in naval aviation lighter than air, but we didn't get a new technology, did we? Well, maybe this month we'll get something new. We need more destroyers, they say. Here's what the Formidable looks like. This is what we were curious about, the new British carrier. So it's basically 21,000 tons. It holds 67 aircraft. And that's it. Like, that's the extent of it. I'm assuming that doesn't carry jet aircraft because it's so light. I'm tempted to go back and build a couple more Akagis, but I think the Akagis will hold their own with the Zoihos and the Zuikaku. We'll have 5 carriers between the lights and the normal that use regular aircraft, like propeller-driven aircraft. This new generation, the Kaga, it's sort of an experimental platform that we're going to use to test out our jets and whatnot. And then, in the future, they're going to be our relic ships that, they're built in the 1940s, but they're still operating into the 50s and all that. While the Akagis and the Zoihus and whatnot will probably need to be scrapped because it's going to be really hard to upgrade those to jet aircraft. So we'll see. The Akagis might end up being light carriers in terms of they might replace the Zoihos because the Zoihos, they carry 30 prop-driven aircraft, and the Akagis will be able to carry probably about 30 jet aircraft. So what can we work on next? So we have, all right, let's build 10 more of these Tokyo Marus. They want 18 more destroyers? I'm not really in the mood for that because I don't want our unrest going back up. We'll offer to build half as many. Nice. Benefit to radar from Great Britain. Very nice. Boy, we have gotten a lot of radar technology from the US and Britain. Okay. We'll start building these destroyers in a month or two from now, preferably when these bungos are finished refitting. Security with France? No. Oh no, that's going to raise the budget. Oh shoot. Okay, well we have to because we don't want to be friends with France. We're still unhappy with them. We have unfinished business with France. All right, let's go ahead and build some more of these destroyers. We have to build 8 of them. That's a good number because we do them in fours. Okay. We can assign these to a division. So the Minakazes, when this next batch of destroyers are finished, we might just get rid of the Minakazes. Might just get rid of them. They're not going to be upgradable in the future. They have worse anti-submarine warfare. They have worse guns. Yeah, it's not as good as the new generation. I'd rather maintain 8 Arashis over 12 Minakazes. So subdivision and damage control from the Brits. 7 and 8-inch autoloaders. Those would be interesting to slap onto battleships, but probably not going to happen. Although we could end up with some 8-inch autoloaders on a cruiser in the future, or 7-inch. That could be really interesting. All right. So submarine survivability, better anti-submarine warfare, and new float planes. So the cruise speed is going down across the board there. The range is going down, and I don't think these are an improvement really. They carry heavier, basically heavier bombs. So is it worth it losing some speed to carry bombs? I don't think it is. Our float planes are not bombers. They are to scout with on our Tonays. Boy, these Tonays are really they're awkward because they're getting old and they're the only ships in our fleet that carry float planes. Like we're maintaining float planes just to put on the Tonays. It seems a little bit unnecessary. We might need to get rid of we might need to maybe not get rid of them, but let them fall behind, like fall by the wayside. All right, we'll bring this one. This cannot actually. We'll send his buddy down there, his squadron mate. We'll send him down to Southeast Asia to join him. Then we'll have 2 of the Canas in Southeast Asia for now. In fact, we should send destroyers down there also. And we have some. We'll send the 3rd Division and the 4th Division down to Southeast Asia. And the reason why we'll do this is if there's an event where it says your relation takes a sudden turn with a nation, if that happens with Britain or France and a war breaks out, I want ships in position down here to do a potential surprise attack if we get one. And the most important thing to have down there for that are destroyers. We'll move the bungos down there as well to Southeast Asia. And that'll reinforce with battleships down there. So Ikaku's finished rebuilding. We could, you know what? I don't want more budget though. Okay. No, let's leave the float plane for now. Let's look at our aircraft. So we have fighters and jet fighters for 1945. We have 44 for naval patrol craft and bombers. I think we need a new dive bomber. It's 1942. So we'll go ahead and request a new dive bomber. And what does that look like? It has Our torpedo bomber has poor. Okay, you know what? We'll do a torpedo bomber, even though it's 1 year newer. We'll go for reliability for secondary and speed for first. We want it to get there and drop its payload. And we're at the 45-minute mark, but we'll keep going for another turn or two. Oh, we stole better explosive stuff. Uh-oh. They didn't like that. Do we have a privately built float plane? Yeah, the stats just get worse and worse on it because they want to carry bombs. No, let's not do that. Your job is to get there and report on stuff. That's your only job as a float plane. Okay, we still have a positive budget that we need to spend. Um, so we have 20 transports being built. We have all these Sumas being refitted. We're building the 2 new aircraft carriers and 8 destroyers. I'm kind of tempted to start. Let's see. This will be done in 4 months. I'm kind of tempted to start a new heavy cruiser class. Just a couple of them, or maybe 3 if possible. Again, we'll have them be the flagships for South Pacific, Indian Ocean, North Pacific. So let's just take a look. We got some new technology here. We're not going to put float planes on there, that's for sure. So our tones are 14,100 tons. So we'll put these at 14,100 and see what kind of improvements we have. So the Tones have 8-inch guns, 8-inch guns. This would have 9 10-inch guns. We could go down to auto-loading 8-inch guns or quality 1 9-inch guns or 10-inch guns. All right, additional. Nope, we don't need. We're not doing that. We're not putting aircraft on these. That was one of the things I've really been getting frustrated about is the aircraft. So 110 rounds of 110 rounds of ammo. What if we go up to 32 knots? We can't. We can go down to 14,000 tons. We can go up to 6 inches of armor. I don't think the belt armor matters as much. If we go down to 5.5 inches of belt, we can't. Well, we could go down to 5 inches of belt with torpedo defense of 3. It's still not the best, but it's better than 2. We could do auto loading 3-inch secondary guns. I mean, we could go a little bit ham with this. 10-inch guns are pretty good. We can pierce our own belt at any range. Well, sort of. It's a little bit weird. Yeah. The guns they don't pierce through. Huh, so they're 10-inch guns. What if we go down to 9? So at 20,000, they're doing 3.2 versus 21,000. So at 20,000, we're losing 0.8 piercing on the belt. So if we went down to 9-inch guns, we could add. Well, if we do auto loading 8-inch guns, yeah, we're losing a lot of range. We're losing like 4,000 yards of range and a lot of piercing. So if we get the 9-inch guns and we added a triple turret, it's going to put us way overweight. They give us 12 9-inch guns. That'd be really cool with an electrical optical director. But I think just having 10-inch guns are just better. So it puts us at 14,000 tons. It's basically 2,500 per month for 2 years to build that. I mean, that's not bad. It's 31 knots. I mean, do we think this would be a pretty good little, you know, flotilla leader for our deployed forces? We're keeping our battleships close to home. These would be our battleship stand-ins. They're essentially leading the fight until our bigger ships and the rest of our fleet gets there. So are these good for like 1 or 2 months of fighting on their own with, the Sumas and backed up by basically 3 Sumas and a destroyer squadron? Maybe. It's got good heavy AA factor at 42. So yeah, I could probably, I kind of like this. So let's go ahead and, I mean, what if we went up to 15,000 tons? What could we do with it? Hang on, what did the price do just now? Look at that price. The monthly, oh, hang on, it's going to go, yeah, 25 months. Okay. So an extra month, but it gets a little bit cheaper to do it per month. That would let us put on another 10-inch turret. What if we go to 11-inch guns? Is that even, no, it turns into a battle cruiser. Okay, so 10 is the top we can do. We can go back up to 6-inch belt. We can go to torpedo defense 4. We can make the deck in it. No, it's going to be really heavy. Okay. Decks are always heavy. But we can add on some extra 3-inch secondaries for heavy AA. We can add on another 5 rounds of, another 10 rounds of main gun ammo. Yeah, that's pretty good. That gives us a heavy AA of 51. It's not going to completely protect. We're going to go down the medium. There we go. I wanted to go down to medium just so we get a little bit more weight remaining for future upgrades. What if we do diesel engines? What does that do? Why is diesel? Oh, it's just more expensive, but not by much, is it? About 50. That gives us some extra tonnage. We can go up to 130 rounds of main gun ammo. And since these are auto loading secondaries, we'll do 350 rounds. We'll go down by 5 on the main gun and go up there, 380 rounds. So this thing can protect itself from the air. It's not going to stop everything. It's 51 heavy AA. It's not going to stop everything, but it should be able to shoot down quite a bit. It's 15,000 tons. We've increased the cost by a little bit, and it's 1 month longer. But what these heavy cruisers are going to be is, in the future, we're going to be able to strip off some of these secondaries and everything else and start strapping on heavy anti-ship missiles. So let's pick a good name for this. We're going to go with I like the Atago. Myoko. We never did use the Myoko, did we? Myoko is a historical battleship. We'll go with the Myoko. And yeah, we'll do with that for now. And we might go 3 months. We're getting close to an hour here, geez. Okay, we might go 3 months ahead real quick just to start those. Okay, that's the improved naval patrol craft. Not a whole lot changed on it. Nothing went up by a firepower. Okay. We're getting some tension changes with Russia. Okay. You know what? So we're gonna go ahead and call it there since we're extending that out by a month. I appreciate you for hanging out. I appreciate you for watching the channel and being here. So be safe out there, and I'll see you next time.